Welcome one and all to this first episode, the spring debut episode of Sports Corner. I'm Dante Centofanti.
And I'm Austin Arnold.
The Kent State men's basketball team looked to keep momentum rolling in their Saturday matchup with the Central Michigan Chippewas. Let's go to the Memorial Athletic and Convocation Center for the action. You got Danny Pippen in the Golden Flashes. He won Men's Basketball Player of the Week against the alley-oop dunkaroo to Justin Hamilton, but then here's the acrobatic from Mikel Murray. He hits an acrobatic layup for the Chippewas. What a play there. And now here's Ralph Safe down the baseline with the two-hand poster to give Central Michigan a three-point lead. But the Flashes would respond here as Travell Beck, the pride of Cleveland Central Catholic, hits the pump fake and gets a smooth finish fillet at the rim. But now let's talk about the defense. Travell Beck tips the pass and Malik Jacobs takes it all the way across the country for the Flashes. Great defense, great offense. But here we go again. Here is Giovanni Santiago, one of the premier defensive players this season for the Flashes. He gets it to Danny Pippen for the two-hand slam. And then Malik Jacobs again hits a beautiful, lots of bench points in this game. Beautiful three for the Flashes and one. Flashes would go on to win 83-76. Final score, they move on to 9-4. Here's Rob Sinderoff after the game.
Really happy that we got this win. I thought we defended really well in the second half, which we needed to do. First half, we were in a lot of foul trouble, and obviously a little disjointed because of our lineups. But guys finished the first half really well. Second half defensively, we were fantastic, and it's great to get another win. They're a good team. They're playing well. We got a couple days to get ourselves ready, and hopefully we'll be where we need to be here for Tuesday.
All right, Austin Arnold, let's go to the MAC basketball standings. You still have Toledo. They're the clear #1 team in this conference at 10-1. But you have Akron at 8-2 following. You have Kent State at 6-3, Miami of Ohio at 5-3. This makes the Tuesday matchup at the MAC so much more critical because third place and possibly second place in the future is on the line because Kent State does have Akron coming up here at the MAC. Big week for this team. This is the biggest week of the season by far.
Yeah, for Kent State, you've won 6 of your last 8, and now you're going up against a team who's won 5 of their last 8. I mean, it doesn't get any better for this for both of these clubs. Kent State is going to have a lot to prove after not beating Toledo not once but 2 times in games that arguably they should have won. So I think that Kent State has that chip on the shoulder. The team is playing great offensively and defensively, and I think that only makes the matchup against Miami of Ohio even better.
Right now, they're first in total offense. They've been scoring so well. They've been playing a brand of ball as of late that I've witnessed that's like really fast-paced, really quick, everybody getting involved, beautiful passing of the ball, making sure everybody's in rhythm. It's a really good tempo that they play at. But also another thing, they are starting to fall in the standings in defense. They are currently 5th in the Mid-American Conference in defense. They started off the season so well on defense. I'm not saying it's something to panic about, but they are starting to drop a little bit in that regard.
Yeah, for Kent State, I mean, when you had the layoff for that long amount of time, just not playing basketball for a couple weeks, I think it kind of may have got to them defensively, just not having, the repetition and the effect of just locking down on defense as you normally would. But I still believe that this team, regardless of if they're falling in the standings or not, they've been playing great basketball. The continuity's been good. Coach Rob Senderoff has coached them well. And this team is going to have a real test now on Tuesday against Miami of Ohio, in which this is going to probably shake up the MAC in general.
They're also still one of the premier rebounding teams, not only in the MAC, but just in mid-major Division I basketball. Justin Hamilton, Mike Nuga, he did exit the game, unfortunately, with an ankle injury early in the game against Central Michigan. Hopefully he will be back tomorrow against Miami of Ohio. We don't know yet. We are still waiting. TV2 is still waiting to get word. And now let's go to the women's side of the basketball. You got 5-2 overall. They are 4-0 in the MAC. They have not played since January 9th due to COVID protocols. They're scheduled to play Ohio Wednesday. Now, Austin, will this team continue their hot stretch? But I shouldn't say hot stretch because they haven't played in such long, but before they haven't played in so long, they were off to a blazing hot start in this conference, and they're coming off a defending conference championship title from a year ago.
The best advice I could give for this Kent State women's basketball team is, I know you've been off for a long amount of time, but get back to the roots, get back to what you need to do. And if you are the Kent State women's basketball team, yes, you're 5-2, you're 4-0 in the MAC, and you haven't played in a while, and yes, that could all be a distraction. But at the end of the day, just get back to team brand basketball, and Coach Stark is going to try and find his rhythm with this team. And I think that for this team on Wednesday, it's going to be a pretty telling story with OU. And you go ahead and take a look at the women's basketball standings. And like we said, Dante, they're 4-0 in the MAC right now. BG is 9-2. CMU
BG has been a surprise.
8-3. Yes. both for the men's and women's basketball team. Bowling Green's been very good this year. Buffalo at 6-3, Ball State at 6-3, and Northern Illinois at 6-3 as well.
Well, like I brought up with the men's team, the style of ball they've been playing as of late, the women's team does that quite a lot too. They move the ball very well. Coach Starkey always makes sure that they have a high-paced tempo whenever they play on both sides of the ball. This team, in my opinion, Austin Arnold, they can win the MAC. And I'm not just saying this because we're a Kent State television station. This team is very fluent. They have people that can score. They have players that can just get everywhere on the floor, and they are a true testament to the coaching of Todd Starkey.
And we saw a little bit of it last year. You know, they played a very good game against Ohio State, as we all know, but it has translated into this year with how well they have played offensively. And then defensively, you could say the same thing. For Kent State, again, Wednesday is going to be a prove-it game, not only just for the women on the court, but as a program in general, because you're coming off a huge layoff and you're expecting to now capitalize on a great opportunity.
Partner, this might be one of the biggest weeks in Kent State basketball history, all around.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I agree with you.
All around. All right, now let's get into some gymnastics news. After starting a strong 2-0 to start the season, the Kent State gymnastics team hosted and defeated MAC rivals Eastern Michigan in a senior day matchup. In their Sunday win, the Flashes posted a season best 194.875 while honoring their seniors with various spectacular routines, including Abby Fletcher and Toshi Richard, heavily contributing to the score. This win marks the third victory of the young season for the team and gives them a better insight for upcoming competition as they face off at Eastern Michigan on February 6th and 14th.
Let's go ahead and get to the women's golf team. They're currently fourth place. They finished fourth place in their last tournament at -4 under. And junior Emily Price tied for 6th in the whole tournament at -2. And for sophomore Kaylee McGinty, she tied for 12th at -1. And for the Kent State golf team, they have a huge upcoming tournament that is going to be taking place here very soon. So it's going to be very exciting to see them. And this was the UCF Challenge at Eagle Creek Golf Club. And right now, the Golden Flash wrestling team was set up for a huge matchup against the Missouri Tigers on the 31st, but due to COVID regulations and contact tracing, the meet was canceled. The Flashes look to rebound from a loss to Clarion and break through at 500 on the season. In their trip to Athens on Wednesday, they faced the Ohio Bobcats in preparation for the MAC championships at the end of February in Trenton, New Jersey.
Let's get into volleyball news. The Kent State volleyball team hosted the Central Michigan Chippewas for a back-to-back matchup and came away unscathed at 2-0. In the MAC matchup, the Flashes junior duo of Aaron Gardner and Alex Hafner each had a field day against Central, as Gardner is recognized as East Division Defensive Player of the Week and Hafner was awarded East Division Setter of the Week. The Flashes are slated to travel to Buffalo for a 2-series matchup on February 4th and 5th.
Anchor Colin Sexton and the boys find a way to beat the Timberwolves at Target Center last night. Stick around. We'll be right back. We'll break it down for you when we all
It's a
come.
big responsibility.
Oh, it's huge. I know, it's huge.
And the salary.
Oh my god, yes. I mean,
Right.
like, I was about to move in with my parents, and right before, so this saved me.
I really believe in you, you know.
Thank you. It's nice to hear that from someone.
These are cool. Did you, what did
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Welcome back to Sports Corner. The Cleveland Cavaliers have been on quite a tear lately. Let's go to the Twin Cities where they played D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Edwards, and the Minnesota Timberwolves. We go to the fourth quarter. Darius Garland drives to the basket, but Jaden McDaniels goes, buddy, I just Windexed the glass with a strong rejection. The Wolves kicking up the court. Ricky Rubio to D'Angelo Russell for a three. Then 97-90 Timberwolves. Taurean Prince misses a three. He was 1 for 4 off the bench. Malik Beasley kicks it to Anthony Edwards. The rookie had 23 points in this game. Then D'Angelo Russell's with the handles and the step back and nothing but net. He had 19 points on the night. Over 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Anthony Edwards skipping through that lane with the juicy fillet. It was all over from there. It was all Timberwolves in this game. Darius Garland had 17 points. Andre Drummond finished with 25 points and 22 boards as the final score from Target Arena. Timberwolves 109, Cavaliers 104.
And for Minnesota, we're not going to go to the District of Champions. That's right, Washington, D.C. We have Kyrie Irving there. And let's get right to it. Nets against the Wizards as Durant hits the three ball there. And then some nice around-the-horn basketball by the Nets in the Durantula. Yet again, he'll knock down another three. He finished with 37 on the night with 7 rebounds and 6 assists. But look at Mo Wagner, the former Laker, the steal and the one-hand jam to put those Wizards within 3. And yes, Mo Wagner is hype, and Brody was too. Later on, Brad Beal, cash. He hits that over Kyrie Irving. And Brad Beal yet again, another and one past Kyrie Irving. It seems like Kyrie Irving couldn't guard anyone that night. But here was the play of the night. Beal hits the three. They're down 5. Now they're down 2. But Garrison Matthews, if I had the Martians pointing the death beam on me, Russell Westbrook will hit the game winner. 149-146. Wizards win a thriller in D.C.
One of the best games of the regular season so far, partner.
And let's go ahead and get to my all-star ballot now. In the East, I got Bradley Beal, who we just showed in the highlight, Colin Sexton, he's been on a tear, and 2 guys that you might not think of as any everyday stars. Julius Randle, he's averaging 22-1 a game, and Jeremy Grant, who's putting up most improved player numbers at 24-9, along with Joel Embiid. And now for the West, Dame Lillard, he's just been on a tear the whole season, whether he's been on Portland or just doing everything for that team. He just had a game winner in Chicago the other night. Luka Doncic, LeBron James, Christian Wood averaging 24 per game for the Rockets, and then Nikola Jokic. Embiid, Jokic, they've been the 2 best centers in the league, Dante, and that's why they're on my all-star ballot.
Without question. All right, let's get to my all-star ballot partner. You got Kevin Durant, Giannis, Joel Embiid at the East. Those are the usual guys. You're not touching them. But Bradley Beal and Colin Sexton, to me, that should be your backcourt. And I am sick and tired, and I thought I'd bring up this point. I am sick and tired of the all-star system being based on winning. Yes, it should be considered, but it shouldn't be the whole thing. Bradley Beal is arguably the best player. Yes, I said the best player in the Eastern Conference this season with the stats he's putting up. It's crazy. And yes, he might be the only source of offense for a very struggling Wizard squad, but you also look at Colin Sexton, first 8 games of his career, first 8 games with 20 points. Not even LeBron James or Mark Price did that in the history of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And you look at the West, you got Damian Lillard. He should be in just on his clutches alone. Nikola Jokic, Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, Steph Curry being back. He is leading the league in threes, 6 in points per game, usual Steph Curry season.
And let's go ahead and get to the Indians off-season recap. As we all know, the Indians traded away Francisco Lindor and Carlos Carrasco to the Mets for some highly touted prospects. They also re-signed Cesar Hernandez and brought in Eddie Rosario, who was a former Minnesota Twin in free agency just a couple days ago, actually, Dante. So now that poses the question, have the Indians done enough to still contend for the AL North?
The question to that is no, and we just wanted to let all of our viewers out there know that Sports Corner is your place for Indians off-season therapy, because the Cleveland Indians think that signing Cesar Hernandez and Eddie Rosario is somehow going to make their fan base happy. It's not. You traded away the only Cleveland Indians player that has been a source of national recognition in the last 30 years. When was the last time, listen, answer me this question, Oscar. When was the last time the Indians had a player that people in so many countries knew? When was the last time?
I couldn't tell you.
No, and the Indians let that player walk. They did not pay him the money that he deserves. They thought, okay, we're just going to give up. That's not the way organizations should run. You have the best fans in the AL Central by far. You have the best arguably the best stadium in Major League Baseball. You need to use that to your advantage, and it's absolutely ridiculous that we're sitting here talking about Francisco Lindor is a New York Met. He didn't even go to the Yankees. He went to the New York Mets. You traded him. You lost him to the New York Mets, the second team in New York. It's just pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. Ownership for the Cleveland Indians is pathetic.
But Dante, it just falls back on the fact that the Tribe are last in MLB payroll. They couldn't afford him, and that's just the problem with small market teams these days. When you're last in payroll, it doesn't pay out. And now I'm going to say it like on the record right now. They have a very good farm system, so I'm sure the Tribe will bounce back in some way. But it doesn't help that the payroll is so little at $28 million per year.
Partner, it's not going to happen anytime soon, but I certainly do hope this farm system comes up big, just like the last farm system did. And when we come back, Super Bowl 55 is going to be in return. It's going to be quarantined, though. Find out our picks when we come back.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
Welcome back to Sports Corner, where I'm a lot calmer. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in the Super Bowl for the first time since Super Bowl 37 in 2003. They have faced tremendous ups and downs this season. 2 bad losses to their biggest division rival, the New Orleans Saints, during the regular season. Didn't do them any favors coming into the playoffs, Austin. But this once former below 500 franchise has the greatest quarterback of all time, Tom Brady. This season, this man has been on a mission to prove he is not a system quarterback. He is not aging, and he has proven, regardless of the outcome this Sunday, he is the man you absolutely cannot bet against in the NFL.
And going now from the Buccaneers to the Kansas City Chiefs, they enter the Super Bowl for the second straight year after winning it all last year against Jimmy G and the 49ers. And to say that they were picked, to say that they were where they left off last year is very, very accurate. Kansas City lost 2 games in all of 2020 in the regular season, to be in fact. They lost to the Chargers at the end of the year when they benched Mahomes, and then to the Las Vegas Raiders at home. With a 14-2 record heading into the playoffs, the Chiefs had a tough game against the Cleveland Browns after Patrick Mahomes went out with a concussion. With a Chad Henne 14-yard scramble and 1 Tyreek Hill reception later, on a critical 4th and 1, the Chiefs survived 22-17 and manhandled the Buffalo Bills in the AFC Championship game the following week by a score of 38-24. Patrick Mahomes and company are not done yet.
Brady versus Mahomes. This is starting to become one of the great matchups in pro football. Now the Chiefs, they averaged 7.54 yards per play in the first meeting. The Bucs averaged 7.58. Austin, teams in the league have averaged more than 7.5 yards per play in a game only 20 times this season. That shows you the gun-slinging game we are going to have here in Super Bowl 55. Now, earlier today it was announced that the Chiefs are not going to have Demarcus Robinson. They're not going to have center Daniel Kilgore. Oh, well, they were tested positive for COVID. We don't know if they're going to play or not, but it doesn't look likely like they will. Hill. Tyreek Hill had 3 touchdowns in the game because just the 3rd NFL wide receiver with more than 200 receiving yards in 1 quarter. Austin, how do you see this game playing out with all these great numbers?
With all the great numbers that you just explained, I'm going to stick with my guns, and I'm going to go ahead and say that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win this game. Yes, people can say Tom Brady is the man to go with in this game, but if you are Patrick Mahomes, you've lost to Tom once. You've been able to beat him in the regular season. You've absolutely outperformed Tom Brady your whole career. But the one time you didn't was in the playoffs, and he should have won that game, but unfortunately Dee Ford cost him. So now if you're Patrick Mahomes, your legacy's on the line. Because if you win, you have a chance to become the greatest of all time. If you lose, that window is shut. I think it's going to be 38-28. Kansas City wins. They'll win their 2nd straight, and Tom Brady is going to have to lose at home. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion.
Tom Brady has a lot to prove in this game because he is on a mission to prove that he is not a system quarterback. And we go to your predictions, Austin. You got Pat Mahomes playing very well in this game.
I do. And Pat Mahomes is going to be the reason why they win this game. And just for the people at home, when you are the #1 passing offense in the league, going up against the 21st pass defense in the league, with the weapons you have, Pat Mahomes is going to have a field day. This is no fluke. The Chiefs are going to go in here and win, and it's going to be by the hand of 10. 38-28, Pat Mahomes is your MVP, 2-time Super Bowl champs, back-to-back, they completed.
Well, as you can see, viewers at home, we miss the old school TV2 logo, and that's why we have it back-to-back there. Let's get to my pick. I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beating the Kansas City Chiefs 38-34, and my MVP being old reliable for me during this TV2 Sports Fantasy season, Mike Evans. I think he's going to have a monster game, but it's like I said earlier in the newsroom, Austin. Pat Mahomes, when you put Tom Brady in front of his face, he has showed up every single time, even in losing efforts. But the King is still playing on the gridiron. He is going to prove that he is not a system quarterback. He's going to prove that he does not need Bill Belichick. Tom Brady is like Michael Jordan. They both have the same competitiveness, except Tom Brady will do it with a smile. He's not quite the assassin like Michael Jordan is, but I guarantee you he's going to be thinking all week of trying to prove this point, just like he did in 2016, when he won that Super Bowl to prove Roger Goodell wrong. He is going to come motivated in this game. Bucks win 38-34.
And when we come back, we will have the Centofanti selections, my Magic Money Line, and of course our men on the Silver Mountain. Don't go anywhere.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? And now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
We might root for different teams, but we all respect the game. And we can all root for each other when we wear a mask. Mask up, America.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
Welcome back to Sports Corner, everyone, and let's get to a Super Bowl prop bet edition of Austin's Magic Money Line as we go ahead and see what I got on the table for all of you. I got Clyde Edwards-Helaire scoring a touchdown in this game that's plus 140. And yes, I know Tampa Bay is the #1 run defense in the league, but that doesn't matter. It's the Super Bowl. Tampa Bay will not score a touchdown in the third quarter. They have tended not to play good in the third quarter in games this year. That's plus 100. And then finally, both of these teams will not have over 189.5 yards. That's a minus 115 prop bet. They will go under. They will not hit 189.5. Those are my 3 picks for the Super Bowl. And again, that will be on Sunday at 6:30 p.m.
There are events in our time that will never leave our memory. For our generation, January 26, 2020 is a day that we will always remember where we were. And the passing of Kobe Bean Bryant and his daughter Gianna is now 1 year old. Hall of Fame sports writer Michael Wilbon said recently, "We have never really emerged past his death, and we have been stuck in despair as a society ever since." And he is right. In the year 2020, we lost so many people in the sports world, but Kobe Bryant seemed unimaginable. He deserved to have a full life. And in a time when he was creating art and telling stories, a lot of what we do in this building every day, it was unfairly taken away from him. The way our grandparents look at November 22nd every year is how we will see January 26th for the rest of our lives. TV2 Sports continues to wish the Bryant family and everyone who knew him our deepest condolences. And for my first man on the Silver Mountain of the semester, it is the young bull Colin Sexton. He is the third-year point guard from Alabama. He's having the best season of his career, Austin. The man is leading the charge for the revival of the Cleveland Cavaliers organization. His 8 consecutive games out of the gate with 20 points has never been done in the history of the franchise. I brought that up earlier. Not LeBron James, not even Mark Price has ever done that. Austin, the Wine and Gold have an exciting core. And if Sexton is not an all-star, I'm going to be one mad sports anchor. One mad sports anchor.
Thank you, Dante. And my man on the Silver Mountain to start off 2021 is UFC lightweight contender Dustin Poirier. Poirier, for the first time in his whole entire career, has won against Conor McGregor after being counted out and wrote off as a legitimate contender in the UFC for the longest time. And last Saturday, he proved that, and he should get a title shot for his next fight. After his historic knockout, it was a knockout against Conor McGregor in the second round, Poirier cemented his spot at the top of the lightweight division as the #1 contender and the only person to ever KO Conor McGregor. Yet again, I say that. It was 6 years ago that Conor McGregor TKO'd Dustin Poirier in their first fight, but flash forward to now, revenge never felt so good for the Diamond himself. We can only wait for the legendary trilogy, and who knows, maybe it's for the lightweight title.
That's all for this opening edition of Sports Corner. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at TV2 Sports. I'm Dante Centofanti.
I'm Austin Arnold.